Right then, I want to talk Bruno Fernandes. He's a player who's been getting a lot of criticism since Manchester United's last game against Palace, and I think it's time to talk. Obviously, he's just signed that 3-year contract, but that performance yesterday against Palace was one of his worst I think I've seen in a United shirt. He gave the ball away 34 times, which a Manchester United player should not be doing that. It's horrible, and I think you look at the way that this season has started for him, it hasn't been great. I don't think he's scored yet. He hasn't really getting involved in the play. And bearing in mind, he should have had 3 or 4 goals for Manchester United. He missed loads of chances against against Fulham in the opening game. It has been a very difficult start. Now, we know he's the captain. He's a player who's done so much for us in the years that he's been at the club. But if you compare him to kind of different sort of number 10s in the league, they're totally different. And in maybe 2-3 games, we're saying Bruno Fernandes is back to one of the best. But at this current moment, his performances just look underwhelming. We know he can make that first time pass, or you know he can do that moments of brilliance, which not many players can do. But he is sometimes way too inconsistent on the ball. As I said, he gave away possession a lot yesterday and did put us in some dangerous positions. Yes, we didn't concede a goal, but it still put us in a bad position as a team. And I think you look at Erik ten Hag, he trusts Bruno a lot. He gave him the captain's armband, and based on the pitch, he has delivered for us. But those assists can really do undermark kind of the overall performance by him, because I think yesterday was one of the worst I think we've seen Bruno Fernandes play. So a lot of question marks have got to be asked. I think certainly next game against FC 20, I would be dropping him anyway. I don't think Bruno should be starting. I think you've got to try something different. If you compare him to midfielders at our club, I mean, Eriksen, mainly, they keep the ball so tight. They don't treat it like a grenade, where sometimes Bruno does try and do too much, which is kind of disappointing and a huge worry. I think you look at his quality, though, it's fantastic. And his output of the last 3 years with the goals, assists have been absolutely sublime. Not many players have kind of come close to him with that, but goals and assists are only a little part of the game, and they were a big part in terms of winning games. But as an overall player, I think for me, he needs to offer more, and I think sometimes he just needs to be a bit more sensible with the ball at his feet when he receives it. Just keep it quick and tidy and neat, simple 1-2 passes, instead of treating it like a grenade. I know that long ball has worked for Manchester United over the years, and it's been absolutely fantastic, but for me, it's the way that Ten Hag wants to play is quick, neat, possession-based football. And sometimes I think his decision-making is a bit overwhelming. He should have scored a few goals yesterday. The one that hit the bar, the Travella cross. But he just didn't do enough for me. And I think Erik ten Hag has got a decision to make, because it's not just this game where Bruno has been underwhelming for me. I think there's been numerous of games where his quality hasn't really shown through. And we know he's one of our highest earners now. He's on, 300k a week is being reported. With that new contract, he's set to obviously stay at the club for another couple of years. And I think if you compare us to, as I said, other number 10s in the Premier League, you've got, not even in the league, across the world, you've got Musiala, Odegaard, Bellingham, like these sort of players who have close ball control. And there's no doubt in Bruno Fernandes' quality. He's a player I like at Manchester United. He's up there with one of my favourites, but sometimes I do think he is a bit wasteful in possession. And I know many people have talked about, can we win a league with Bruno Fernandes? That's a question that we're going to have to wait and see, but I do definitely think in 2-3 years we'll have a bigger picture, and we've got obviously players coming through our academy. I think in 2-3 years we're going to have to replace Bruno Fernandes, so we see where we're at with that. Just my overall thought, I don't really think we can. I think, yes, he's a player who can get loads of goals and assists and massively contribute in that aspect. But you look at his overall game, he is way too wasteful in possession. And listen, it's all about balance. Sometimes he will look to play that ball, which will work out, and it's fantastic, the one over the top or the first time pass, which has done so well for Manchester United. But as I said, it's all about finding that balance, and that's ultimately what needs to happen. So listen, let me know your thoughts on Bruno Fernandes. It's time to talk about him, and I think he will find the next few games difficult if he puts in those performances, because it will be tricky. And if the momentum swings to Manchester United, listen, we've got tough games. We've got FC 20 in the week. We've got Spurs. We've got Villa coming up. We have got very, very big games, and obviously Bruno is very instrumental to the way that we play. And it would be a huge concern. Without Bruno Fernandes, we ain't good. Don't get me wrong, but sometimes with him in the team, we are finding ourselves making too many mistakes, which are very, very costly for Manchester United. And listen, we can say, yes, he didn't make any goal like any mistakes that led to goals, but they still could have been very, very costly. And you can see when he makes a mistake, it does cost the team. And listen, he's key to the press. That Erik ten Hag actually kind of does play into attacking, and we could maybe see a shift in his position because, listen, for me, Bruno isn't a number 10. He isn't really linked to that midfield too much. He's very, very far away from it at times. He's more kind of advanced than the number 9 at some point. So for me, you could see Bruno obviously utilised more as the number 9 or the false 9 this season. But it's time to talk Bruno. Listen, I still enjoy watching him play for United, and he still definitely will play more games. But for me, he's just got to be more, keep it simple on the ball and not really, listen, take risks, but there's is a time to kind of do everything. I think in that game against Palace, you just got to be a bit more clinical. And he's definitely one of that players. He's obviously going to know how poor that performance was yesterday, and I think he knows how vital that is. But for me, Bruno, he should be someone who's staying at United. I think at the end of the season, how it goes, because he would have had kind of 2 underwhelming seasons. I think last season wasn't great. We have to seriously ask questions then, and Ineos will obviously look at that way more than what we are now. I'm just a fan who's analysing what Bruno has really done for us. Like, yes, he's done a lot for this football club, but it's not enough when in certain games you are making those silly mistakes ultimately and costing. Listen, as I said, in this game, it didn't cost us 3 points, but in a different game, it could well have cost us those points. So, yeah, we have to manage Bruno Fernandes well. I think maybe try something else. Eriksen, maybe Xerxes in the number 10. Obviously, that isn't the long-term sort of future sort of thing. But we'll have, I think for me, he isn't a player who we can win the league with. I hope I'm wrong. As I said, his output's one of the best for goals and assists. But we have to be kind of patient with Bruno. I know this is his 4th season, but we'll have to wait and see what happens. I think obviously he'll still play at United. He's still going to play regular games for us, and we'll probably start the next few games. And he might get 3-4 goals and assists, which do say is Bruno Fernandes back. But we must not shy away from the countless errors he does make in his game. But let me know your thoughts. I think Bruno's a fantastic player and should continue playing at Manchester United. But I just wanted to analyse and kind of react to all the news that's been going on. So thank you for watching. Hope you did enjoy. Stay tuned. Obviously, preview coming out for the game against FC Twente will be very, very shortly for our things to expect. Press conference reaction and much, much more. But let me know your thoughts. Is it the end of Bruno Fernandes at Manchester United? We'll have to wait and see what the manager decides and how the season tends to go for Manchester United. But Bruno Fernandes has started it off not the best, and I think he must improve. But let me know your thoughts. Thank you for watching. Hope you did enjoy. Please like, comment and subscribe. The support's been mental recently, and we are slowly starting to grow. So leave your comments and thoughts. Sorry this has dragged on a little bit, but yeah, Bruno Fernandes, what's your thoughts on him? Peace.